Hey guys, my name is Bryson Sessions and you're listening to the Bed Project Podcast. This show is a little bit different than other shows out there, so if you want an in-depth understanding of what it's about, please listen to episode 292B. It'll give you all the details for the show and what to expect. So that being said, here is today's episode. So this show is quite different than all of the other shows out there. This show is just a daily documentation of the day-to-day of me, Bryson Sessions, going through each level of business and personal development and how I go about making the decisions that I do. And in doing so, I document every single win, every loss, every thought that I have, every decision I make, every meeting, every negotiation, every sales call, every little detail of the progress that I make, everything. I want to document everything. I'll share personal details about myself, why I do the things that I do, my thought process with making certain things the way they are, and really just documenting every single thing that I possibly can, all the way from now to episode 7,305. That's no bullshit, because 7,305 in a 20-year span with leap years is 20 years. 20 years. I don't know what the fuck I just said. 20 years is 7,305 episodes when you have the 5 leap years in there. And as you can tell from right there, the show is not edited. It's not as far as removing or adding things. I mean, I don't count music or intros, but removing or cutting anything out or being too embarrassed to upload everything. I'm very vulnerable on the show. I share a lot of personal details that a lot of people probably couldn't really fathom the idea of sharing. Like if you listen to previous episodes close to this one, I share how much debt I'm in, how much money I make per hour between the 3 jobs, my credit card debt, how much my insurance is. I share everything. And that's because I want somebody to be able to listen to these shows at whatever age they are, preferably younger, so that they can stack up against me in a good way and be like, okay, so I'm actually 2 years ahead of him and I don't have debt. So he can do it, I can do it. I've got quite a head start. Because we have the Gary Vaynerchuks, the Alex Hormozis, the Andy Frisillas, the David Goggins, the Jeff Bezoses, the Warren Buffetts, the Elon Musks. We have the Joe Rogans. We have professional athletes, authors, celebrities, you name it. We've got all these people out there who've made incredible lives out of for themselves, and not a lot of them have documented everything up to their point of success. Now they've got maybe the last few years in documentation, right, of here and there videos. Alex Hormozi does a great job of this, and it's ironic because I started doing this before I really even knew that he was doing something similar. I'm kind of doing it a little bit more, not extreme is not the right word, but I'm doing a lot more details and sharing everything down to my thought process, and me literally at work talking or thinking about, can't wait to get home so I can drink a Monster and work on my document. Nobody shares the nitty gritty shit like that, but I think it's so cool. I think it would be so cool. I mean, think about your favorite basketball player or your favorite celebrity, or shit, maybe it's Andy Frisella or maybe it is Joe Rogan. Think about if you could go back and listen to them at your age. Maybe you're 18, maybe you're 27, maybe you're 45. Imagine being able to listen to them when they're 18 talking about, like for Joe Rogan, dude, I want to actually buy a mic and start recording myself and see if I can make something of this. Or, oh, you know what, dude, if you're LeBron James, oh, you know what, dude, basketball is pretty fun. I wonder if I could go pro, shit like that. Or maybe you got a favorite author, right? So maybe that's, I don't even know many authors. I don't know, man. Just think about someone you look up to quite a bit. Could even be your grandpa. I mean, I love my grandpa. I look up to my grandpa. Shout out Val Bryce Sessions. Love you. If I could go back and listen to what my grandfather was thinking at my age and what kind of goals he had and how he was going about doing them in his circumstances, with his hardships, with his struggles, with his distractions, that would be so invaluable to me. I don't know if I could even pay to own that. It'd be so expensive, right? If I could just have access to that for future reference, that's the goal. So all of that, I mean, it goes without saying, but I believe wholeheartedly that I will make it to wherever I'm headed. I don't know what that is, where I don't know where it is. I don't know what it looks like, but I know that it's inevitable that I will succeed if I don't give up. So, because if I don't give up, the only reason why I don't achieve my goals is I die. That's it. If I do not give up, I will succeed or I will die, whichever comes first. And that's really reassuring for me. It sounds really crazy or like morbid, but as long as I don't give up and as long as I keep working, I will succeed. So that's what this podcast is about. I believe I'll make it, and I know that I will have wished then that I recorded everything from here to then, because a lot of people who have made it, I call it the top floor. A lot of people who have made it to the top floor, they tell a lot of stories about, I will just say the top floor is floor 100. A lot of people tell stories of floor, 0 and 1, 2, 3, and then all of a sudden it gets foggy, and then they tell stories of floor 18, 19, and then it gets foggy again, and then 70, 80, and then, the floor 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, just crystal clear. And I want to be able to have a clear-cut documentation of every single thing, of every single day, of every year up to the top floor, right? Kind of a weird way to explain it. But when you look at people who have made it now, they're on fire. They're killing it. Everybody knows them. They have millions of followers, make lots of money. They have wildly successful businesses. They have great products, whatever. But that's what you see now. What about the last 30 years? People can tell stories on the top floor about how it was back then, but it's hard to really convey how it felt, how it was, because we can alter the story to fit an agenda. We can tell the story differently to I don't know, just to make ourselves sound cooler, whatever the case may be. But if I tell a story today, right now, of how I feel now, I can't ever bullshit that again. So how I feel now is literally what's cemented in this podcast forever. And if I ever tell a story differently, then either I forgot how I felt or I'm just being untruthful. And so there's a lot that comes with this show. There's a lot of details and probably a lot of future problems I haven't even thought of. But I think it'll be cool. And I truly believe with all my heart that this will be one of the most valuable assets that I have later on in life. I wouldn't even call it an asset. It's not going to make me money at all. But just, I don't know, maybe call it a lead magnet. Because if I'm doing any kind of deal with somebody, they will see me and see that I was able to be 100% consistent, flawless with my execution with this thing in my life called a podcast. They'll be able to see I documented every single thing that I've done up to this point, and they will be able to see my dedication towards something, my belief in myself, and whatever. And I think that will be a valuable asset. It won't make me money, but it will definitely help me do so. And I think it will be a cool thing to look back on later, even if I don't make it, because if I do not make it and I do suck shit and I don't make a single dollar ever again for 20 years, then this will be a damn good show of what not to do. So either way, it's a win-win, and I get to be the star of the show either way. So cool. All eyes on me. So that's the whole point of the show. And so going back to what I was saying earlier, you're going to hear a lot of vulnerability in the show. You're going to hear a lot of details. You're going to hear a lot of what I think and me just really just venting, ranting, sharing everything that I think about whatever in the context of business and growing and building myself up. Because I completed the 75 hard program, then did phase 1, 2, 3, which is the live hard program. It's a full year. Changed my life forever. You're hearing this show right now because of it. I wouldn't have even started a podcast if I didn't build confidence to do so. So this whole thing is literally because I chose to do hard shit and force myself out of my comfort zone and to do things that I didn't think were possible. So you can listen to episode 292 that has a full recap of the first year of after starting 75 hard. And in that year, I accomplished quite a bit for where I'm at with what I have access to. And it's my goal now to, double that, triple that, quadruple that as I go, get some compound interest on my shit. And then by the time we reach episode 7,305, we can look back and see exactly how I did everything that I did to get to where I'm at, which is 20 years from now. So that'll be 2043 in October that we will reach the 20-year mark. So obviously we just got started, but as far as changing my life around, last week was the year anniversary of doing so. And as far as the show starts, obviously this is episode 293. It has to be 292B because I'm not allowing myself to record any future shows or make up for past shows by just simply titling them differently. So this is still August 6th, 2024. So this has to be 292B. That kind of sucks because I recorded it. I want it to be an even number, but whatever. So 292B, this is the intro. It is this way because I want this to be the episode people can refer back to and get an understanding of what this show is about, what to expect, what it entails. So also, this show will never focus on professionalism. It will never focus on organization. It will never focus on quality. It will never prioritize anything other than me grabbing my phone and talking into the microphone. I've made it extremely low barrier for productivity because all I have to do, grab my phone, click a folder, click Voice Memos app, click the red button and record. And all I have to do then is talk about the thing that I want to talk about. It just so happens that right now it does sound better because I'm using my microphone, but I've had this set up for a little bit, and if I can make it sound better, I will. It's not my priority though. So I never have a script. I never know what I'm going to say. I've started over half my shows with me saying, hey guys, what's up? Not sure what I'm going to talk about. Figure it out along the way, but doing my outdoor workout right now and blah, blah, blah. Oh, also, and then I start going on. So I figure it out as I go. So that's kind of proof right there that I never focus on organization or having some kind of structure. I just wing it, and I'm keeping it real, raw, authentic, unedited, and really just me. So everything that you hear and everything you have heard from episode 1 to now is me being me, talking about the things that I think about and just trying my best to share and just put that out there for somebody else in the future. And I've said so many times in this show that I really am making these episodes for somebody who's born today. So somebody who's born today in 19 years will be 19 years old. They might be really interested in the whole entrepreneurship shit. So maybe they'll be listening to these shows. So somebody in the future is going to have a birthday of August 6th, 2024, and they're going to be listening to the show. It's just how it is. That's my whole goal for everything. So if I can have a 19-year-old in 19 years listen to this show and get an idea of where I'm at, compare it to where they're at, and think, okay, I'm either 5 years ahead or 2 years below or whatever the fuck ever. He's doing this. That's where I if I'm right here where he's at or better, I will make it because just look at where he's at versus me. Or maybe they're like, oh man, he's got 5 years on me, but he's got a detailed step-by-step roadmap, and it's 20 years later, so I'm sure there's better technology so I can do it faster. So if I can make it easier for somebody else to achieve what I'm going to achieve in the future, then I will. And that's what the show is about. So that's a little summary of what the show entails. I'm probably going to refer to this episode so much. So 292B just became part of the show for a long time, if I had to guess. So that's what this show is about. It's just about documenting everything. So if you are an entrepreneur or you have a lot of business goals or a lot of financial goals or a lot of personal development goals, then this is probably a show that you might want to listen to in the future or now. It just entails every single thing that goes through my mind, how I act upon it, and I document my wins, my losses, and everything. Like, for example, this year I'm probably going to have dozens of sales calls, and I will be recording every single one of them and posting them. Of course, editing out parts where they give me sensitive information, obviously. But I'll post everything live. You'll get everything. And that's for no other reason than the purpose of the show, which is to document everything. Everything. If I can have my phone out recording a sales meeting and a negotiation for some multi-million-dollar deal in 35 years, I will be doing that. I want everything to be here. So that's why I have the show. And this is going to be separate from the other show that I've got. I'm working on it as we speak. I actually set up my entire office space to be aesthetically pleasing for video because of this other show will be on YouTube, and I'll be using it, the small clips for social media as killing two birds with one stone. So anyway, all that being said, that's the summary for this show. Hopefully it was concise enough, information packed to get the point across of what I'm doing here. But so the quickest way I can summarize it is I just want to be able to look back and have every single day documented so that somebody else can see my step-by-step how I made it to where I'm at in the future. I have no doubt in my mind that I'll make it because I never plan on quitting. So that's the intro to the BED Project podcast. Also, the BED Project stands for Bryson Every Day, or Business Excellence and Discipline, or being elite daily, or exceptional, or excellent, or whatever you want to make it stand for. But originally the plan was Bryson Every Day. So that's the show. That's the introduction to the BED Project podcast with Bryson Q Sessions. That's me. I'm the host of this whole thing. And so if you find value or entertainment in the show, that's great. It's not my goal, so enjoy. Talk to you guys later, and peace out. If you haven't already, please go check out episode 292B.
Yeah, no shit. That's what you're listening to right now. Thanks for listening to the intro show. All right, bye.